So when you guys made this product, right, what was the kind of investor profile that you had in mind for making this kind of a product? So I mean, who's this product best suited for? Who should be investing in this product, and for what time frame?
Sure. So I think this is absolute cracker of a question, because we spent a lot of time designing this product, and there are various contours and the tweaks that we have brought into the product, keeping in mind three sets of investors. The first set of investor is, a millennial who's just come in and who generally, is bombarded with so many different options. Ki हाँ equity में large cap ये वो, the options arbitrage में this, debt में credit, low duration government, and there is obviously a merit in huge suite of products, but it sometimes overwhelms somebody, right? And therefore this becomes like a one-stop shop wherein you get a particular kind of a peace of mind that you've entrusted to someone who automatically rebalances the portfolio depending on both valuations as well as the market sentiment to give you less BP, so to speak, in the fund. And maybe if you look at the slide, and also I'm talking about slide 18. If you can just share that,
Slide
Karthik.
18. Yeah, sure. Just a minute.
Yeah.
And this is this one is this is the slide 18, or is it?
No, the next slide, please.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry, this is the other presentation. Then. No.
Okay, wait a minute. I'll go to the other one and I'll open that one. Okay,
Sorry.
hold on.
No,
No
so
problem.
essentially what we are saying is, so this is one set of investor that we've spoken about. The second set of investors are people who understand that equity is something that is needed. I don't think anybody doubts about it. Yeah, this is perfect, right?
This is perfect, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm
Okay.
sharing this one, and you want me to go to slide 18.
Could you okay.
Sorry, slide
No,
18. This was 26.
Up. Yeah, the previous one. Yes.
This one?
Yeah. So,
okay.
So if you really look at and I'll speak about the second kind of investor. The second kind of investor is somebody who understands the importance of equities. They all will nod their head saying, हाँ 10 साल का पैसा है, 15 साल में child का education के लिए डाल रहे हैं या शादी के लिए या whatever be it, the goals that we have real long term, right? And they'll all nod their head saying that inflation erodes returns, जो पैसा आज is not good enough in 10-15 years time frame because of inflation. But the first sign of volatility BP बढ़ जाता है, and then that is when investors typically tend to do mistakes in terms of not allocating more at that point of time, and actually in panic even exiting say equities as an asset class. Now the idea of this fund is, see, on an average, the exposure to equities is about 30 to 35%, whereas you get returns because of asset allocation similar to that of equities, which means if you really look at the right side, that 1 year rolling risk chart, now the purple line, which is on top, is the volatility, in some sense the BP of Nifty, ऊपर नीचे जितना जाता है, that a measure is called volatility, a standard deviation, whatever be that. And the green line, which is there, is the BP of the fund, which means that the BP of the fund is almost 1/3 of that of the BP of Nifty. तो आपको इतना ऊपर नीचे नहीं होगा, which is I think something which most people want at this point of time, because they want something simple which does the job. They don't want too much of jargons, but it shouldn't give them needless sleepless nights, which is what this fund is doing. Again, I'm not saying that this fund will never be negative, blah blah blah, etc. It just reduces material risk, like I said, 1/3 or 1/4 of the volatility of Nifty is what we are talking about when we come to this. The third is set of investors who maybe have sold a particular house or sold a particular business and are looking at investing it. And and then the question is always कि boss market तो all time high पे है, यहाँ पे डालना चाहिए, नीचे गिरेगा. And in that constant endeavor कि नीचे जब गिरेगा then नहीं और गिरेगा, you tend to miss out the bigger picture. This is a fund which can take lump sum investments, because automatically it gets redistributed. Even if somebody gives in, say, 2 crores or 5 crores of their investment, only say 30 or 40% goes into equities. When valuations are cheap, when sentiment is in your favor, we can take it up all the way to 80%. And therefore, lump sums are also advised. The last thing I would like to say is what is the kind of typical profile that we are talking about, which is there in the next slide, if you can go through.
Yeah.
So typically, most investors look at FD as their benchmark. This is their hurdle rate, so to speak. कि FD में लगाते तो इतना मिलता है, इसमें क्या मिलेगा, right? And this is of course a back test of the last 16, 18 years. What we are saying is that typically this is a fund wherein returns will be similar to at least an FD in the worst time. Again, we are talking of at least 5 years. This is very important. I'm not talking about 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, etc. Just like an investor puts in an FD, he or she looks at it only after the expiry of the FD or the maturity of the FD to think of where to reinvest. Similarly, if one were to invest in this fund and wait for 5 years, at the end of 5 years, the worst case return basis the backtest that we have over the last 20-25 years suggests that you get returns at least similar to that of the FD at that point of time, right? The upside really is in today's FD, it might take anywhere between 15 to 16 years to double the money. Whereas in a product like this, what the backtests have shown is that it kind of doubles anywhere between 5 to 8 years. So let's say even it is 8 or 9 or 10 years, that really is the upside. A quicker doubling or compounding of your wealth, whereas giving you a similar kind of a 5-year FD product. Again, it's important to stress this, that we are talking of at least 5 years and to look at it from a 5-year construct. We're not talking about 6 months. This is not a product where, there cannot be intermittent negatives, etc. After all, this is investing in equities. But the idea is, by being into asset allocation, by being into equities, you have got a chance to go into a fast local. Like I keep saying, this product switches between slow local and fast local. There are times when you need to be in slow local. There are times when you need to be in fast local. This gives you the kind of a base return of at least an FD, whereas upside is that you are in a faster local of equities, which means that the time to compound or to double is much shorter than a typical fixed deposit instrument. So these are the broader ways in which we've come about to devise. Again, these are all basis back test. This is not saying that, this is guaranteed, etc. But this is just to provide a perspective as to what investors should expect if they have at least a 5-year kind of a horizon.
Wonderful. Very nice. Actually, I want to go back to this slide, and I want to spend a minute here. There are 2-3 very, very interesting things that Harish has really brought out here. So number one, the safety factor, right? So when we put money into this fund, this is pretty much like an FD. So worst case scenario, FD jitna to return milega hi milega. There is no question about it. The other very, very interesting thing that he has spoken about is lump sum. So hota kya hai ki normally whenever we put money inside the mutual fund, we break it into smaller parts. We do systematic transfer plan because we want to, manage the volatility. Matlab ye nahi chahiye ki paisa dalo aur gir gaya, that kind of a thing. So we break it up, right? We've always done that. So in the same, now here he's saying that you can even put a lump sum because on an average, kabhi abhi aaj ki tarikh mein it is at about 65-70% equity. But on an average, he's saying that this is going to be about 30 or 35%. Now, having said that, so that's the second very interesting point that, lump sum base mein dal sakte hain. So isme SIP or STP ka is everything. Even if we have a 20 lakh, 30 lakh, 50 lakh, it's great to put there.